In this video, guys, we're going to look at 10 questions to ask yourself before you place every trade. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. Okay, if you're subscribed to the channel, I do appreciate your subscription. Thank you for joining us and becoming a better trader, improving. We're all trying to become better traders, whatever level we're trading at. And if you're not a subscriber yet, perhaps this video will earn your subscription. Definitely consider doing so if you're into improvement in your trading. Right, so 10 things we should perhaps ask ourselves before we take every trade. Now, you look at any kind of job or function or procedure or anything that has risk. We're looking at military, we're looking at pilots, we're looking at medical, construction. All of those things have checklists or some kind of standard operating procedure before they do anything that's risky. So working at heights, perhaps they've got 5 things they need to do with the harness. A pilot, before he lands, he has his checks. A surgeon, before he goes into surgery. A military camp, whatever it may be. You know, we could go on forever. But the point is, going throughout all of the scales, there are, at whatever kind of level we're looking at, there are procedures there. So it should be the same for trading. So perhaps this will inspire you to create your own. I'm not suggesting that you take all of these. Some of these you might want to put into your list and some of them you might want to remove. And by the way, if you've got any comments about these or you want to change or add them or add new ones or take some out and don't agree with them, please stick it in the comment section below. I was interested to hear what you guys have got to say. So anyway, let's get down to it. Number one, this is my kind of thing. It might not resonate with you, but it does definitely for me. Is this trade getting me towards my long-term trading goals? So that personally gets me to think in terms of, I don't care about the outcome of this trade. I'm not focused on whether this trade is going to be profitable. It's, is this getting me into my long-term goal? So this may be that I'm running a strategy that I want to see how to refine, that it's close to becoming a very, very profitable strategy. And I know that perhaps this won't be a profitable trade, but I'm getting data from it. Or perhaps it's a very profitable strategy and I know that, yes, I know that if I execute this enough times, I'm going to make money. So that just changes the frame of mind from, hey, I want to make sure this is a winner, to, hey, is this something that's conducive to my long-term goals? Yes, it is. Okay, take the trade. Is it out of boredom? And it's a very good question because it's quite broad. It opens up things like, am I trading this because I'm bored? Am I trading this because of this, because of that? It's a great question to ask yourself. So consider that one as a first one. All right, now we get down into some less meaningful stuff, but still useful from a technical operations perspective. Number 2, where are my key levels? Very often, we might take a trade and we forget, we haven't marked on a level. There's a weekly resistance just above us. The price is probably not going to break through that in a lunchtime and low volume environment, whatever it may be. If it does, it might take a little bit more strength to it or whatever. Have I got all my key levels in? As my resistance, is my support a long way away and I'm buying a little bit too early? Should I be waiting a little bit longer? You know, have I done the analysis that I need to do? You can go broader with that and say, have I done my analysis correctly? What's my ATR? What's useful to you? It's just something, one thing that can spur you and make you think, okay, I need to make sure that this is done, this is done, this is done. Number 3, do I have a catalyst or trigger? For me, I like to see a catalyst or trigger. So opening 15-minute drive, maybe that's a good extension on that. Is that my trigger? Is that my catalyst? Yeah. Maybe an earnings season's play. Maybe it's something that the ECB has said, the BOE has said. What has happened? Is there a catalyst or trigger? Why is that supply demand shifted? Why is the trade going to work? You might want to eliminate that. If that's not in with your strategy and setup, that's fine. But I like to think about, hey, why is someone going to buy this after I've bought it? Because that's the only reason the price is going to go up, right? Or why is someone going to sell it after I've sold it? That's the only reason the price is going to go down if I'm going short. And when I can answer that question, and I feel ready to move to the next one. Number 4, is this a proper setup? So this is again a bit of a broad question. I definitely think you should consider this one. Is it part of the setups I have in my trading library that I'm going to execute? If it's not, why am I trading it? If I'm tempted to trade it, I need to put it in the library, in the folder that says these are the rules. I'll take it so I can at least get some measurements on it. Otherwise, if I'm just trading on a whim, it's got zero value. Win or loss, it's got zero value to your long-term trading success. All right, where are we now? 5. Am I tilt, upset, greedy, revenge trading, etc., etc., etc.? Am I experiencing any negative emotions? And that could be, you know, positive, i.e. I'm feeling like I'm the best trader in the world. I'm a guru, I'm a genius, I'm an absolute god. or I feel like an absolute worst trader in the world, I can't do anything right. Any of those extremes, so greed, fear, you want to be in that little thing we talked about before, emotional thermometer. You want to be in that sweet spot, in that torque zone, in the high power band area, if we're talking about from an engine's perspective. So just double checking. I'm not trading on revenge. I'm not trading on tilt. I'm not trying to come back from something. I'm not doing this because I think I've had a great run and I think I'm untouchable. You know, it's just measuring that emotional sentiment. Number 6, where's the risk? Do I accept it? Big one, this. You know, where's the risk on the trade, on the deal? Where should my stop be? Where should I place my stop? Is it an acceptable place? Do I accept the risk on that trade? Am I prepared to risk that from a monetary perspective, from a kind of chart perspective? Does it all make sense? Just making sure that that lines up nicely for you. Number 7, what's my exit plan? So where's my stop? What do I do if it goes my way and then starts to reverse? What do I do if it sits there for a couple of days, a couple of hours, it reverses, it spikes? All those things, you know, pulls back massively, goes up, all those things outlining what is my exit plan for the trade. Number 8, am I using the correct position size? Big on this. We don't want to get caught out trading too big a size. Similarly, we want to try and make as much money as possible, so we don't want to be using such small size that it's not taking advantage of the setup. So it's that sweet spot again, making sure not too small, not too big, within the parameters of our trading plan. Okay, number 9, is the trade in my plan? So a broad question here, is it actually in my plan? Very similar to, is this a proper setup, but is it part of my plan? In other words, it could still be a proper setup, but if it's the 4th trade of the day and it's at lunchtime, maybe you're not trading it from a day trading perspective. If it's a day before earnings and you're swing trading, maybe it's not in your trading plan. It's just that final check. Yes, I'm okay. I'm ready to pull the trigger. Last one, if I take this trade 100 times, would I make money? This is a good question to ask yourself, because this puts you in a different frame of mind, as the first one does. It's like, listen, would I take this trade without question 100 times in a row and have a good feeling that this is going to make money? Either I've got proof from back testing, or I know that it makes, but I'd be confident, regardless of, we don't never know if it's going to make money, of course, but would I be confident enough to take this trade with the same risk on the same thing 100 times in a row if it occurred right now without any hesitation? If the answer is yes, then you're probably okay to take the trade. This will weed out any of those little ones that come along. You think, oh, I think that's going up, I'm going to take it. Because you wouldn't take that 100 times in a row. You know you wouldn't, because it doesn't have the parameters that you need. But if it's matching this, it's got this filter criteria that you set out, it's got this trigger criteria, and you know that it's a grade A setup or a grade A plus setup. Talked about that before lightly, but I'm going to go into a lot more depth about that, so that's a good reason to subscribe if you haven't yet. And it's hitting the mark with all those, and you say, you know what, I would take that 1,000 times on a risk. I'd take £100 risk on it, £1,000 risk on it, 10,000, 10, whatever the order of magnitude of risk may be, doesn't matter. It's all relative. Then you know you're good to go. Those are 10 for you guys. Questions to ask yourself before you take every trade. Any thoughts or comments? Comment section below. Love to hear your feedback. Take care. Bye bye.